What's good? Who's here? Who's popping in right now? What up? What up? Who's all here? Drop it in the chat. Drop hi in the chat so I can see who's here. Maga Skater, dude. It's been a while. Aaron Maxey. Joe, where's day 10? I'm about to finish editing it. But I wanted to get this live stream done because everybody's going to see the Battle of the Barrack. I want to watch this game of skate, and I feel like I want to live stream them all, but I'm trying to watch them all. So I need to get this live stream done so I can enjoy the game of skate. Oh my gosh, Grubs, dude, you're already giving spoilers, dog? You're already giving spoilers? Bro, I need to delete that comment. How do I delete this comment? Bro. Grubs, dude. Oh my gosh. Can't believe that quick. All right, well, I guess I don't need to watch it anymore. All right, I figured we'd start off with the death blow video. Here, let's switch to the right here. Uh-oh. How do I get this one big?
I feel pretty good.
I think we're gonna have to go into this mode right here. Went to skate park of Tampa yesterday, and those kids there are amazing. I bet with a skate park like that. What up? I'm playing with like showing your comments on the screen.
I haven't warmed up yet, so we'll see. Somebody asked me this earlier and asked me if I had a
Otto saying this is an all-time game.
Some tricks I was going to do, like what trick are you going to do, right? And I was just like, oh, that was the first time I was thinking about it. And if I had to end it on a dirty trick, it'd probably be the 360 shove underfoot.
Nervous for the game?
Yeah, definitely. Playing Chris.
Okay, but time out. Do we think that's a real trick? 360 shove underflip? Isn't that just a messed up tray flip? I feel like that one's a little bit like Sean Davis's shove it underflip. You guys remember that from last year? A little bit more valid, but I feel like still along the same line of thinking.
Cool, for sure. I never count tricks, but I'm sure the good games are like in the 50s of tricks, you know? So I'm hoping we get up there. But if we get to 50 tricks or whatever, yesterday, because of how slick the ground is, I was messing around skating flat here, and I did a switch bigger flip. So maybe.
Switch bigger flip is crazy, though. That's like, I feel like not a lot of people could do that trick. Switch bigger flip. I feel like most people struggle with switch trays, and it's like switch back 180 is the hardest back 180 rotation. So combine that with a switch tray, that's crazy.
It was more of me thinking like, oh, I wonder if he knows the tricks that I can't do and he's going to do them. I don't really.
Do you guys remember Dumb Data? Didn't he do a breakdown of like the hardest trick in Battle of the Barracks, and wasn't it switch bigger flip? Or maybe it was just switch big flip.
I don't know how many I've done at this point. There's been a bunch. Obviously the first one that I did the best in. It's nice because the pressure is off. Kind of put it over the top for myself, so I'm like, I'm here just to, represent.
It's cool because this is my first time in Battle of the Barracks. Flying across the country for the first round to be with Chris Cole is like, all right, sick. No matter if I win or lose, I had an epic battle. But of course, he's fucking one of the best ever, so I'm nervous as hell.
I'm so glad they got rid of like the just famous people who are not good at skateboarding, or just like a way to draw attention to the channel. Obviously, that's what I do in my videos, but like as far as an entertainment like standpoint, I'm glad to see like just the best skaters in it. That's what it seems like, anyways.
I feel like Mark is such a good skateboarder, very thought through, so I don't think that my experience at Battle of the Barracks will separate me from him. I don't think it'll be like a wash because of him not being here and having the nerves, you know, because he skated Street League and things like that. Like there's
Hold up a
pressure
second. Did Mark Suciu just do himself dirty? Did Mark Suciu just do the trick that he says? Back 180 out of a back 5-0? Back 5-0, back 180.
will separate me from
It's a bad trick. Lacks taste.
from him. I don't think it'll be like a wash.
Literally what he's
because
saying. I mean, it's
him not
switch.
being here and having
It's
the
switch,
nerves,
but
you know,
it's
because
still.
he skated Street League and things like that. Like there's some pressure there. So we'll see. But it's a formidable foe.
I love playing game skate, yeah, for sure. I get a little competitive, definitely. I love to do tricks that I think are solid, like basic tricks, and then maybe later, if you have to, get into those crazy tricks. That's my favorite part, when it's like, holy shit, these guys have been doing every single trick and there's nothing left and they're reaching in the bag. But if you go right for it, I'm like, ah, come on.
There's an endless amount of just absurd trick to make somebody go in their car, beat their head against the wheel and say stupid repeatedly.
All right. Should we watch the real thing now? Okay, let me pull up the actual game. But if you guys could drop a like so we can try and get the stream out to more people. But appreciate you all being here. Let's watch this.
Predictions. Who do you guys think is going to win?
I think Cole's kind of got him.
Got him.
They're both really intense. That's why I came here today to see it. It's like a game that you want to watch it. It's going to be a good one.
Battle of the Barracks 13, Freedom. This is round one. Here are the rules. This is flat ground only, but that doesn't mean that anything on flat ground counts. No feet on the ground. That means no complies, no hand plants, no bonelesses, no grabs. No tricks that slide on the ground if your opponent popped their trick. No multi manual shit. If your opponent wraps their impossible, you too must wrap your impossible. Each skater gets one challenge flag. Last letter gets 2 tries. Offensive toe drag gets 1 and only 1 do-over. Defensive toe drag has a bigger margin for error, but will ultimately be decided by the referee.
Oh, shit.
Let's keep it clean, let's keep it lean. This is Battle at the Barracks 13.
I like this comment from Aaron. One time this guy pulled a switch pressure hard flip, and I did, in fact, go in my car and bang my head against the wheel. That's funny.
13, and there can only be one winner. So may God have mercy on your souls, Rochambeau, Chris, and Mark.
All right. On shoot or 1, 2, 3?
Whatever.
All right, let's do on shoot. Yeah?
Okay. Yep.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Mark's fouls.
Hmm.
We're not going to be calling too much shit, I don't think.
Oh, I hate that. That happens to my heel flips all the time. This is a gentleman's game. You know that these guys are settling in for a long game.
And he waited all the way until the crack to like pop in the crack. He's like, I'm keeping this shit East Coast.
Can we just talk about this real quick? Another good comment from Aaron. I hate it when they shoot. It's Rochambeau. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. Rock, paper, scissors. Rochambeau. Who came up with the shoot stuff? I feel like that's creeping into skateboarding. I feel like everybody knew because of Battle at the Barracks that it was just 1, 2, 3. And now the shoot is working its way into Battle at the Barracks, dude. It's just 1, 2, 3.
I don't think that toe touched. Mark did it. Canceled each other out. Keep going.
Woof. Saved it. That's a nice burial hill. I know, but the barracks isn't on the East Coast, Maga Skater. The barracks isn't on the East Coast. Oh, man. That was really good. Oh, I thought he was going to go 360, honestly. Nollie hard? Fakey hard. Nollie. Yeah. No letters. I saw that it's an 11-minute video, so this is going to be a long game. Half cab heel. Not the prettiest trick so far, but homies be landing pretty much everything. I need to learn how to tray flip like Mark Suciu. Suciu may be on the East Coast, but he's not from the East Coast. He's from San Francisco or San Jose. I mean, if you're taking that train of thought, Chris Cole's also from the East Coast, but I mean, Chris Cole is actually from the East Coast. I feel like Chris Cole has gotten to the place where he's just like over jumping. Oh, that one he jumped. Take it back. All his tricks up to that point was like, let me flip it as low as possible. Okay, he can jump. He's just getting warmed up. He's just getting warmed up. Ooh, man. Now you can see their legs are moving. Imagine he missed that one. Switch inward. Fakey heel. That's a tough one, dude. If you want a single trick that can get anybody a letter in a game of skate, from pros to normal skaters, I feel like fakey heel is a good one. Half gab heel. Ooh. Mark has S. All right, leave it in the chat. Who do you think's winning this? Leave it in the chat. If you already know, don't say anything. Leave it in the chat. Who do you think? Fakey big flip. Man. Ooh, that was nice. Rick flip. I've never done a Rick flip. Got close once. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We all know at this point it was posted hours ago. Okay, all right, Maga Skater. I'm late. I should probably try and stream it like right when it comes out. Switch hard, dude. That's like a pressure hard. Same, Aaron. This is the first time watching too. Backside heel. Man, he flicked that so good. And it was switch too. Oh, the switch inward doesn't like him today. Jeez. I hate that I can't just casually do fakey tray. But I guess neither can Chris Cole, so that makes me feel better. Switch backside flip, that was pretty smooth. This is a good game though. Like, there's been a lot of tricks landed, but also a lot of like turnovers. Who are your guys' picks to win the whole thing? Leave it in the chat. Man, that switch front big was beefy. Can only do nollie trays. You can't do fakie, huh? I've done that one before. Fakie inward. Oh, that's nollie inward. I've done fakie inward. Jamie Griffin for the win. Boo. Boo. Boo, Jamie Griffin. I don't want Jamie Griffin to win. There's a good chance that he will, though. I feel like he's trying to go back to back for sure. Back 3 heel flip. Because Jamie Griffin represents like circus tricks, and I'm more into watching like really good pros who have really good board control skate in these games, and that's what I want to see is like board mastery like that. Look at that hard flip. Jamie Griffin, everything he does is like it's good enough to land it consistently, but it's like Mark Suciu could like hard flip back nose grind. So it's just a different level of board control, and I don't like the idea that there's literally people who want to make flat ground skateboarding their career, if that makes sense. I don't like that. But it's inevitable, man. Leo versus Luan will be sick, honestly. Switch laser flip. Man.
That was an insane stretch right there. Is it still going?
Jeez. On that trick of all tricks, you can do the switch laser, but you can't do the back big. It's a good impossible though. Switch front 3. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like David Van Villa said, it's also style. Luan has so much style. That's the thing is, it's not just like who wins and loses. I just want to watch good skateboarding, you know? And so that's why I don't love watching Jamie Griffin. Oh, he brought up the death blow. The death blow. Oh my gosh, that sucks so bad.
And the winner was eventually Chris. That was heavy.
I hate that he won on that trick, honestly. What do we think about that game? Chat, what do we think about that game? I kind of hated how it ended, I'll be honest. I kind of really hated how it ended. It was a heated game, and then yeah, L final trick. Aaron knows. It's how she goes, bud. I guess, like, I don't know. I wish, like, Mark Suciu's death blows, like the switch bigger flip, that's a legit trick. I would like to see the game end on something that Mark even had a chance of landing. I doubt either of them care or take it that seriously, though. I know that they don't care, Kenny, but I care. I want to see. I wanted to see the game keep going. I wanted to see them try tricks that it's like your opponent actually has a chance to land the trick, rather than this is such a niche like clown trick that it's like as soon as you land it, it's over. Anyways, that was a bummer end. Didn't love how it ended, but that is, I guess, the way it goes. It was a fun game though, David. I agree with you. It was a fun game to watch. It just didn't end how I wanted it to. I think that game would have been 30 minutes long. They were landing everything. Did you guys ever see the thing that it was like P-Rod versus Carlos Ribeiro, and they had like the game of skate that never ended? I always wondered if that was staged. It seemed like it was staged, but part of me is like, I could see a game going on for like ever between those two. Luan's pop is crazy. Yeah, you know what's crazy about Luan's pop though is it's like I did this video on Felipe Mota's kickflip and how he gets it like floated into the air, and he like it's really how the way he flicks it. Like Felipe lifts his board up with him. Luan does like zero lifting. He just pops the board so hard that it comes up to his feet. Like he just pops really hard, kicks straight out. He doesn't drag up. He just kicks straight out. And because there's so much upward momentum from just clicking his tail, it comes up so high, which is it's crazy technique. Like, yeah, in order to kickflip that high, most people would have to adjust their flick to really use both feet, use the back foot to pop it and the front foot to lift it. But Luan just straight boom and then flicks out and it just whoosh, boom. Yeah, Luan is crazy. You gonna make him. Is pressure flips not kind of circus tricks? I feel like pressure flips are riding the line for sure. I feel like they're maybe over the line. Let me know what you guys think, chat. Is pressure flips over the line? What do we think about pressure flips? How dirty is a pressure flip? I don't think it's the dirtiest. I think the 360 underflip shove was way dirtier than a pressure flip. Only pressure inward can be maybe acceptable. Yeah, I agree that like pressure, yeah, just like a standard pressure flip. But then when you start getting into like nollie pressure hard, you know, nollie pressure inward, fakie pressure, I don't know, it gets a little crazy, I think. Like if you did pressure heel or pressure 360, yeah, I think Costin does pressure back heel or pressure backside flip. That makes zero sense. I don't know if you've ever tried to get your board to pressure and do just a kick flip or a heel flip and not rotate. That's insane. And then to do it with a 180. I don't know. But Costin can do whatever he wants. He's probably not going to win. He's probably just going to show up and goof off. And then we're going to watch Carlos go on to the next round. Or I would be pleasantly surprised if Costin just like actually tried, but I really don't think so. Pressure flips are okay as long as both skaters can do them. That's true. Also, and it gets weird in like Battle of the Barracks where it's like there's money on the line and it's a contest that like I don't know. I feel like there's unwritten rules like that where it's like if both competitors can do pressure flips, it's like that's definitely fair game. That's not dirty anymore. But like when you're trying to win Battle at the Barracks or whatever, I don't know. Some of the tricks are just like front shove, late flip. That's not even the worst. Let me think. I don't know, like you know what's like a really respectable trick is like Seva does double flip or double frontside flip. So that's like everybody can frontside flip. So I feel like people actually have a shot rather than you doing like some crazy pressure flip. That's like, okay, I've never even attempted that in my life. Whereas double frontside flip, that's like, that's fair. How do you get more weight on top of your nose/tail during slides? I have this problem where I get into them perfectly. My weight distribution is not enough to keep a level slide. So for nose and tail slides, it's not a level slide, and that's probably why you're having issues. If this is the ledge and this is the board, this is horrible, but basically you want your board to be in a drop-in position. So when you put your board on top of the ledge, it's naturally gonna like spring up like that. So you got to think, say it's a nose slide. When you all into the nose slide, you've got to get all of your weight off of your back foot. So you're probably doing just fine putting weight on your front foot. You're just not taking all the weight off of your back foot. You have to think about both. You have to put the weight on your front foot and remove the weight off of your back foot. And then tail slides, I suck at tail slides, but same concept. You got to take all the weight off of your front foot and put all the weight on your back foot. So everybody knows how to press the side that's locking into the ledge, but a lot of people forget that if you leave weight on the other foot, it's going to push your board down and your wheels are going to grab the inside of the ledge. So you want to really lift up whichever foot is not locked in, get it out of the way so that the board can fully rise up and be like in that drop-in position where the board is like pointed up slightly. Watch like Trent McClung or any good ledge skater, when they get on top of the ledge, they're like locked in and their board is pointing up. Let's see. Are you going to buy a deck ticket for the finals? No, I'm not. I don't think I cared that much. Also, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. What would I do with the deck? I'm not going to display it. I'm not really that into it. If your opponent can't pressure flip, just do 5 variations of pressure flips and you win. Not entertainment. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of there's like so much unwritten. This isn't like tennis where it's like the rules are like so rigid. There's like a lot of nuance and like unwritten rules and what would you call that? I don't know, just like manners. In no slides, I see some skaters move their pop foot to the middle of their board. I guess that must help with keeping more weight on the nose. Yeah, that can help because if your weight is if your foot is over the middle of the board, you only have to lift it this high. Whereas if it's back over the bolts, it has to be even higher. So I would suggest probably just keeping it back here and lifting your leg higher. But if they're doing that, that's probably wise because they're uncomfortable with lifting their leg higher. So rather than lifting this is the no slide foot, rather than lifting their foot all the way up here, they can only lift it to here. So they scoot it in. I know you don't skate a lot of transition, but do you ever watch Woodward mano a mano? There's lots of tricks that are guaranteed misses for the other person and people get heated about it. Yeah, it's like Andy Anderson playing a game. He's got hella tricks that nobody else can do. In competition, you do what you can for the win. Yeah, there is like that, but also, I don't know. Like I said, there's like a lot of like almost like sportsmanship in skateboarding. A lot of like, sure, you might win, but you might also like lose respect. Like, because somebody can do ugly tricks and still win. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really mean anything. Maybe to some people that it's like all about winning, sure. But as a viewer, it's just not entertaining. I like mano a mano, but the announcers suck. Yeah, they're pretty mid. Also, these dudes can do whatever. They just got to care enough to practice for a few hours. Exception is some tricks Jamie and Geiger can do. I don't know if that's true. I know that like there's some pros that their whole career, like P-Rod, for 20 years of skateboarding impossible. It's not like he needed a few hours to learn it. He's tried to learn it for a long time, and it's taken years, and then he finally learned it. Pressure equals dirty trick for sure. I tend to keep my weight on my back foot, so my back truck is lower than the nose during the slide. Yeah, you'd probably be getting a ton of wheel bite into the side of the ledge then. Geiger ain't all that. He's not that consistent. I wonder. I feel like he is fairly consistent, but we'll see in his Battle at the Barracks game. I see. So just raise my back foot higher. Yeah. Your back foot needs to be higher than your front foot on a nose slide, and reverse on a tail slide. Whichever foot is not doing the slide needs to be elevated. I believe cost tone is the correct way. Cost tone. How do you get your heel to flick during varial heel flips? This is not a trick that I have very good, but you definitely, one thing is you can't flick it like a heel flip. With a heel flip, say these are my feet, with a heel flip, you're flicking out a little bit, like diagonally forward. With a varial heel, because the board is rotating, you've got to flick with the rotation. So you either got to flick straight through or flick towards kind of the kickflip side because the board is rotating. So wherever the board is going, you got to follow it with your flick. You have to adjust for the rotation of the board. But I can get them to rotate and like I can land them, but not well. But that's what I found has helped me. Hope Battle at the Barracks 13. The finals are on YouTube, not on Caffeine app. The app sucked. Yeah, I did not download it. I wonder what's going to happen with all that, like now that they're free. I have a problem with my kick flip. The board flies away from, and also I can't land with two legs. Whichever way the board is flying away from you, you've got to lean more in that direction. So if it's going out in front of you, you've got to lean that way better, or you've got to adjust your flick. But the main rule is wherever the board is going, you need to lean more in that direction until the board is underneath you again. In MMA, the more well-rounded you are, the better. But a specialist in wrestling or jiu-jitsu is going to bring you to their world and you better adapt. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, we're talking about like skateboarding. That's different. I don't know. Mixed martial arts is like way different. I think it's way more serious and way more legitimate. Like, people have been fighting for thousands of years, and it's like way more brutal. And yeah, skateboarding doesn't compare, I don't think. Is there a women's Battle at the Barracks 13? I don't know. They did one year, and then they never did it again. I thought they should keep doing it and just do like a smaller bracket, but do it every year so that there's just like in contests, there's the men's and there's the women's. I think that would make a lot of progress in like women's skateboarding, especially because like a lot of girls get into skateboarding and skate transition. Not a lot of them get into like flip tricks or like, I don't know, they kind of stay in that bubble, a lot of them, of just skating transition, because they're really, I don't know, girls naturally are good at that. It's bizarre, but I've just seen so many girls that start skateboarding and they just, I don't know, they just gravitate towards transition. But yeah, I think doing a women's Battle at the Barracks, you'd see a lot more girl skater with a bigger bag of tricks. I think Geiger is just getting old. I don't know. That was such a good first round game. Yeah, that was a good way to start it. I mean, that they needed to have a good first round because last year was a joke. Do you have Riz? B, do I have Riz? Do I have Riz? Yeah. It was not a confident yes. So that's about how much Riz I have. Is that it was a shaky answer. I'm cute. No Riz. Still 1 versus 1 with money and pride on the line. Yeah. It's similar. Hey, Joe, you got back tails? Be cool to see a video of you breaking those down and learning. Yeah, I was working on them for a little bit, but I don't know. I landed a couple to fakie, and I don't know. Just I never could like when I started working on them, they were working really, really good, and as I kept working on them, they didn't get any better. In fact, they got worse, and I wasn't able to get my foot in the position to do the tail slide. So, anyways, is it? Hi, Joe. How are you today? Good. El Cappuccino, dude. Welcome back. When is day 10 coming out? Hopefully tomorrow. I've got to hop off this live stream in a second and actually edit it. I started working on the edit yesterday. But yeah, it's a lot of work. You ever review people's flat ground vids? So I have a Patreon subscriber that messaged me and said he was struggling with kickflips. So he wanted to like pay me to like coach him through his kickflips, and I used to offer that on my Patreon, but I don't know. So I guess I do, but like not on like a structured, like consistent level. But he asked me to do it, and I asked him if he would be okay with me doing it on stream. But yeah, if you want like more, if you want to ask me more in-depth questions or whatnot, if you join my Patreon, I respond like immediately as soon as I can to all the Patreon messages. If you got questions about your kickflips or whatever, you can send them over. I told this guy to just send me a video, and I'd take a look at his video and give him some pointers on what I thought was going wrong with his kickflips. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, it's $5 a month, and you have way more access to me. Let's see. Isn't for coaching more about just what you think? LOL. I don't know what your question is there, Jay. Isn't for coaching more about just what you think? LOL. I don't get it. Yeah, so what I'm saying is the Patreon is I break down every single week. I go like super in depth about a trick, but also I respond to your guys' questions in the Patreon messages. So if you guys like message me, if you're a patron or whatever, I'll answer your question for sure. At some point, maybe if people want it, I'll do like Zoom calls or whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty much unstructured right now. But basically, if you need advice or whatever, if you're a patron and you send me a video of like your kickflip saying like, hey, how do I do this? I'll probably, get back to you pretty quick. Also, let me know what you guys would think about this. But basically, I had the thought of maybe with my patrons, we do like a trick submit, like once a week. I just go live and do this, basically break down your tricks. I tell you what I think you're doing wrong and how I think you could fix it. And we just do like a live stream like this. And I don't know, we all break it down together. In the chat, you guys can leave your feedback and suggestions for the person as well. I think that would be fun to look at somebody's whatever trick they're working on. You guys let me know in the chat. Are you ever going to make a street part? That would be sick. Yeah, I think I will. It's just things are too hectic right now, but no, I do plan to. I'm always like driving around looking for spots and thinking of tricks to do. It's just I've got to when I feel like I'm in a place to like go for it, then I will. Somebody, one of the patrons, you guys maybe know Sammy Baked, but Sammy suggested for my Patreon doing like street missions or whatever, but basically like bring people along for like the process of me doing my street part. So if that's something that enough people were interested, that like people wanted to see that, and it was bringing people onto the Patreon, then I would consider doing that, you know, sooner. But right now it's just like that's so much effort with so little like return on the investment, if that makes sense. So what's the wheel company for skateboarding? I'm guessing you're saying the best wheel company. For me, I like Spitfires. I like the Formula 4s. I used to skate Bones, and I just feel like the Bones feel a little bit, how do I say this? Like plasticky. They don't have the right amount of like grip and slip. That's how I talk about Spitfires. Like that's how I explain it. They grip the right way, but then also when you need them to slip, they can slip too. So like I feel like they're predictable. I feel like Bones sometimes were like too grippy and too slippery. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's kind of how I think of it. What shoes you skating at the moment? Maybe I have them in here. I'm skating the Nike Dunks. They're real, these ones. And they're the white, black with gum sole. I got them from Time Machine Skate Shop. Shout out Time Machine. But yeah, they've lasted me a long time. I'm probably like a month and a half in. Let's see. What's the best wheel for skateboarding? Want to show off my nollie tray and could use some advice on fakey big heels and switch trays. Dang, dude. Yeah, I mean, you're way better than me, so I don't know how much like help I would be, but I can give you advice of what I see is going wrong, but you wouldn't be talking to somebody with personal advice with those tricks. But if you want somebody to bounce ideas off of, yeah. Spitfire Formula 4s are the best. Yeah, I agree. What was the last slam you took? Shoot. Slam? Like a slam where I like didn't want to keep skating. I don't know. I'm usually pretty careful. If I'm going to the ground, I try and not make it a slam. I try and slide or do anything to not be hurt. And I also don't like try things where I think I could get wrecked, because I'd rather like, I want to be able to skate the next day. So, okay. Dream trick. Dream trick would, honestly, right now, all I can think about is tray flips. And I know I can do them. Like I did one today on the sesh, but yeah, I wish I could just do them effortlessly. That would be the dream, is just to have that trick on lock. But also nollie trays is a good looking trick, and I low key think I could do those. Like I can get the rotation. I just haven't really taken the time to like really go in on those. What's a slam? El Cappuccino? Like it's where you fall really hard. You slam into the ground. I'm not sure if that's a real question. All right. I love Rictas. That's just me though. Yeah, I had some Ricta slicks at one point, and they weren't bad. They were kind of slippery. They were not very grippy. I felt like they were slippery. And then yeah, mine had the little like plastic on the inside for when you're doing grinds so that they don't like grab. All right. Before I take off, do you guys have any questions for me? I'm about to start editing day 10, but if you guys have any questions. What's your favorite deck in truck combo? I love Thunder Hollows on a flat deck. I can't do flat. I've got to have some concave. I've got to have some concave. But as far as brand, right now, my favorite is the Quasi Twin Tail, and it's probably medium concave. Not super steep kicks. They're between a nose and a tail. Definitely not a tail though. And then yeah, ice skate, thunders all day. The best lock in there is. I'll hop on Patreon and I'll get your advice. I'll get you landing some nollie trays. Yeah, there you go. Dude, I'd love to see what you got going on. And anybody that does subscribe to the Patreon, I'm doing monthly giveaways. I'm giving away a board every month. So, yeah, if you guys are wanting to, I don't know, win a free board, I guess. But yeah, there's like, right now we're up to, I think we've got 7 people that have just joined in the last few days. So your odds are still pretty good to win a board, I'd say. Let's see. But yeah, Jay, thank you for joining the Patreon. I appreciate that. Do you notice some tricks work better on different shapes, or do you think you can get used to anything? My trays are hot and cold as well. I find a bit steeper with not a full shape tail. They work better. Yeah, that's definitely true. A narrower kick is going to be easier to actually like grip it with your feet. I have noticed that. I skated the Enjoy Diedrich Galasso shape, and it's like kind of like a football shape. It's got a little bit pointy kicks, and I did not like skating at all. Messed with my heel flips, my kick flips. Did not feel good. Like, just really didn't like it. But then when I did tray flips, I was like, whoa, this thing kind of goes. So yeah, no, I do notice that there are certain tricks that work better on one shape than another, and you just got to find kind of your happy medium, the thing that allows you to do the most tricks that you're the most comfortable on. For me right now, it's definitely the Quasi board. The Quasi board is, yeah, perfect. Would you review slides or grinds games of skate? Yeah, dude, I actually want to do local slides and grinds, like in my local scene. Build like a little ledge and like have a little contest. I think it'd be so sick. Anybody know what Bridge Boy's on about? Still mumbling. Make the dumb skater stop. All right, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Bridge Boy. All right. Favorite skate shoe. It's pretty basic, but I really like Dunks. I like them because of how long they last, and I like the shape of the toe. Because the shape of the toe, it like the way it flicks, it's not a pointy flick, it's a slow controlled flick. So I feel like with Dunks, you have more control over how fast the board rotates when you do kick flips. Whereas with pointy shoes, I feel like it's always going to be a fast flick. And sometimes I want it to be slower. So that's what I like about Dunks is I feel like I really have control. And I feel like the kick flips, although they do rotate naturally slower with Dunks, I feel like they're predictable. So, yo, I just want to say shout out to Jay for signing up to the Patreon, dude. I appreciate that. WJ for sure. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that so much. I'll leave the link if anybody else wants to do it. All right, let's see what we got here. Are carbon fiber boards good, and do they actually last long? I skated the Powell Peralta. What is it? The flight decks. And this is my experience. The shape that I got, I hated it. It was very, very flat. I don't like flat shapes. But also, it had so much flex because it's like 5 or 6 layers of ply rather than 7. I guess it would have to be 5. 5 ply. It's crazy. That's like, it's not a lot of plies. And so what's making it strong is the carbon fiber, but the carbon fiber bends and comes back. It has some give. So I felt like when I was popping, my board was getting flexy and like trampolining. So I made a video about it, and the board was really, really hard to break. So if you're a board snapper, like honestly, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You probably save money buying those boards rather than just snapping a board a week or 2 boards a week. But yeah, for me, I hated the shape. But that's not to say that there isn't like a VX or a flight deck that has a good shape that I would like. I've heard good things about I think Mario McCoy skates a twin tail Santa Cruz VX. So, but yeah, durability wise, they kill it. All right, Tyshawn lows are way better than dunks. They cushion, and impact is more advanced too. Cloud Cush, I believe, is the cushion tech. Yeah, so I actually agree with you that the outsole on the Tyshawn lows is way better than dunks. Grip wise, maybe not, but cushioning wise, no question. That's the most cushiony shoe I've ever stepped in. Yeah, Tyshawn made a really, really good shoe. At least, and also when I first got it, it was pretty weird, but they've since I bought it, reshaped the toe. The toe was like way too bulky at first, and now the toe is way more similar to the Tyshawn mids. And I would consider skating those again for sure. Good shoes. I really like dunk highs for some reason. The tongue on dunk lows messes with my flick and makes them rocket. Weird. You must have a really interesting angle when you go to flick. The fact that the tongue of your shoe is touching the board. Oh, shout out to Luke. Hey, Luke, is Luke here? Is Luke here? I just realized Jay and Luke just joined my Patreon. Shout out to you guys. Really appreciate it. Do you like egg boards? I started skating a 9. Sorry, let me pull up the comment. Do you like egg boards? I started skating a 925 egg, and now I can't skate anything else. That's so interesting, man. Yo, real quick. Everybody put W Luke in the chat. W Luke. W Luke. I'll put it in the chat. W Luke. Thank you, Luke, for keeping the dream alive, man. W Luke. Appreciate you, Luke, dude. Yeah, appreciate Luke and Jay for hopping on and joining the Patreon. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so do you like egg boards? I started skating. Yeah, so I've never skated an egg board. The closest would have been the Deeds board that I skated, the Enjoy board. I didn't like it, but I've heard really, really, really good things about the Heroin egg board. And it's a twin tail, and I probably end up skating it at some point. But yeah, no, I've never skated a super eggy board. Not like that. Not like the 925 egg. That thing's probably like a straight circle. Just real quick. W Luke one more time. appreciate you guys supporting the Patreon. The response has been really good. The leather just stretched out more for some reason on the Tyshawn's. Anyways, what I was gonna say is, if we can get the Patreon really cranking and get some like steady income, I want to make Patreon content with like Tom Asta or David Reyes or Andy Anderson or Felipe Mota. I'm just trying to, if I can go to them and be like, hey, how much for 3 hours of your time to make some trick tips? Like if we have money to throw around, I mean, like, money talks, you know? So that's the kind of content that I want to make, and I feel like the Patreon kind of like business model, I feel like could get us there. So I really appreciate you guys supporting the Patreon like you have. It means a lot. And like I said, anybody that does join, you're going to be automatically entered to win a free board every month. So funny thing is, this is Aaron Maxey. Let's see, what are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about egg boards. The funny thing is, it scoops and flicks way easier. Yeah, I heard Andy Anderson talk about this, where this, if it's an egg, right, like that, the most weight is in the middle of the board. So that means it's going to rotate faster, if that makes sense. And it's going to be more stable rotation. Because if you put the weight on the edges, it can start to shift. Whereas if the weight's in the middle, it's like the weight is anchored in the middle and it's going to flip around that axis. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Get an egg, skate a curb. Peace out, Blake. Thanks for coming. I like Heroin, and Frog has a good one. And then there's an Alien Workshop deck that was solid. Are you talking about egg decks? Do you like exclusively skate egg decks? I'll try to hop on Patreon, my dude. Appreciate that, Aaron, dude. I love you guys, man. You guys are so supportive. It's pretty crazy. Like I couldn't ask for like a more supportive like audience, I guess. You guys have been like really, really messing with what I've been trying to do. Like I put out that Felipe Mota video yesterday on TikTok, and it's like over 120K views. Well, I guess day before yesterday, but 2 days, 120K views. We're up to like 90K on Instagram. It's like, it's going crazy. And like you guys probably saw on Instagram that Felipe Mota shared it on his story. Like Andy Anderson shared it on his story and tagged Felipe Mota. And then Felipe saw it and commented and tagged it on his story. Anyways, it blew up. It's like 90K on Instagram, something like that. And then it's starting to like really take off on YouTube Shorts as well. But yeah, the response to these videos has just been like really, really good. And ultimately, I'm trying to like use these videos to try and push people towards like the Patreon, so that if, you know, my goal is 2,000 subscribers on Patreon. I think Gifted Hater has more than that. But I want 2,000 subscribers on Patreon, because I feel like that will be plenty of money that I can say, yo, Tom Asta, let me fly out for a couple days next week and let's film tutorials. And being able to do that again and again with like your favorite pros, whether it's, you know, hopefully P-Rod, Nija, Jamie Foy is like, Jamie Foy is like my ultimate like dream, to be able to do trick tips with him. Neen Williams, whoever it is, leave it in the chat. Who would you want me to make trick tips with? What trick and what skater would you want me to make a trick tip with? Aaron Maxey. I love you too, Joe. You motivate me to learn more tricks. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad that you go out and learn tricks, dude. I like how you actually connect with your audience. That's why we're so supportive. Appreciate it, dude. The live stream has been awesome. I mean, there's only 13 people here, so it's not like this crazy thing. So we can be like pretty like individual. And I really like it because I feel like I get a feel for you guys and a feel for kind of like what you're into, and it helps me make the videos better. So all we got to figure out now is how to actually like make money doing this so I can keep doing it. Otherwise, I mean, if it can't make any money, then gotta figure out something else to do. But yeah, appreciate that, Aaron. All right. Any questions before I hop off and start editing day 10 of Tray Flips? And give you guys another chance. I said that, and then I got like a whole flood of chat, so I don't want to leave anybody hanging. You guys got anything else? Any what other questions, if any, do you guys have before I jump off and start getting to work? I didn't expect to be streaming for this long. I was going to do like a half hour, but while we're waiting for more chats to come in, if they're coming, again, I just want to say shout out to Jay and shout out to Luke. Really appreciate you. What do you think Street League should be replaced with? All different types of games, game of skates would be more fair and interesting versus the subjective point scoring. Okay, so imagine this. Imagine it's figure skating in the Olympics, and they're just going back and forth, trick and trick, or gymnastics in the Olympics. Like you don't do your own routine. You have to just copy what the other person does. Like there's a bunch of examples of subjective scoring or judging, and that's its own whole genre of sports. So I feel like I like it. I think that it's the best. I think it's the best like format so far. I don't think a game of skate would be as cool. I think it's the best all around format. But that's for the Olympics. I would much rather see like flat bar games of skate. Like if you guys watch the Pacifico Downtown Showdown or something, Pacifico, I don't know. They did this game of skate, but it was rails and stairs. And they had like Ashad, Jamie Foy, Manny Santiago, Chaz Ortiz. They had a bunch of dudes in there. And I thought that was super entertaining. So different variations of like games of skate, I think would be really interesting. But as far as like representing skateboarding as a whole, I feel like the current format is probably the closest, I mean, you're going to get in terms of like putting skateboarding in the Olympics. Yeah. So why do they set tricks for each contestant to do? Why don't they set tricks for each contestant to do? What do you mean? You're going to have to clarify that one, Aaron. Why don't they set tricks for each contestant to do? It's like, I don't know, that seems like it would be boring. Then we'd be seeing the same tricks. There would be no creativity to it. I personally think that wouldn't be as interesting. You're gonna, yeah, hit me with some clarification there. I don't think Street League is scored subjectively, is it? They have fairly standard scores for each trick, don't they? No. Because the reason they don't is it seems like they do try and be consistent. So if they give one score to one person on that day, they'll stick by that score generally. Like if it's a little bit cleaner or a little bit sketchier, they may add or subtract from the score. But there's not an objective number that you can give to a kickflip. Like, because it just doesn't work like that. Think about like somebody does like the butteriest kickflip. Like a Luan kickflip versus a Mark Suciu kickflip. Nothing against Mark Suciu's kickflip, but like think about those. Who would you give a higher score to? It's the same trick, but Luan's doing it like in a much more controlled and more impressive way, right? And I think that skateboarding, one of the reasons it's so cool is because it values like style like that. So if it was just like a completely objective thing, then I feel like it wouldn't incentivize people to develop their own style or their own flair to keep it interesting. So Luan versus Jin Woo, freak, dude. Jin Woo might win, but yeah, exactly. He just would. It's like that's why I don't like watching Jin Woo. Maybe I will when he's older, but he just it's not fun to watch for me. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't look. It looks like heart, like soulless. Like people say that about Nyjah. It's like that element of like roboticness and like consistency or whatever, but taken to like a whole nother level. Because at least Nyjah like tries new stuff all the time. He's always learning new tricks. And I think he prides himself in that his bag of tricks is always changing. And he's always pushing the limits around like, oh, this has never been taken this way. He needs to grow into a style. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Honestly, I feel like he'll like quit skating. I just don't. I don't know. Something about him, it just doesn't. Something about him doesn't sit right with me. I don't know why, but all right, Luke, Jay, thank you so much for subscribing to the Patreon, and Aaron, same thing. If you decide to do that, appreciate you guys. Thanks for hopping on the live. Chris Cole is a genuine guy. JD Reese, now that's a genuine guy. That's a genuine guy, that JD Reese guy. All right. Thanks everybody for supporting the Patreon. I'm gonna see you in the next one. And I have to say this: I make every day a Friday. It's a contractual obligation. I sign paperwork. I have to say it. So, all right, guys. See